Nearly 15 years later, through his leadership at the Center for Civic Engagement, Rich exemplifies the transformative power of education to promote civic engagement and foster stronger, more connected communities. Through initiatives like the Catalyst program, Rich has created opportunities for students to engage deeply in Chicago and with Chicago residents, learning directly from local leaders of color and working collaboratively to address pressing social issues. I recently had the privilege of meeting Laura and speaking with her bilingual civics class at Fenton High School. Together, we talked about how we build a multiracial democracy and the importance of uplifting students as they engage in civic life, particularly by creating multilingual spaces, regardless of their immigration status, for them to be able to talk about what they see in the news, how they experience it, and how they belong in this country.
I'm in touch with Maria Corina, who is the bravest woman in this hemisphere, and that's what she wants. Have them go quietly and then bring back democracy to this country, to Venezuela. It's Trump. Only Trump can do that, and for him, it's easy, because Maduro shakes. Everyone moves and shakes and trembles and dies, and it just faints when Trump.
Phil looked to the skies and then, speaking in groundhogese, directed the president to the proper scroll, which reads, "What a way to start a Sunday fun day. You always said you'd make it here one day. To this place, barely big enough to contain ya. To this sweet Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. We're all here with the elements combined, where Mother Nature meets Father Time. To hear the truth, are those gray skies? Only I know you can't trust AI. It's Groundhog Day, and maybe life is on a loop. But I miss my burrow, I miss my coop. So I'm headed back down. There's a shadow up here. Get ready for 6 more weeks of winter this year.
The website Wolfnards analyzed the film and estimated that Phil Connors is stuck in a loop for 8 years, 8 months, and 16 days. This got the attention of the film's director, Harold Ramis, who indicated that the estimate seemed too short, as it takes at least 10 years to get good at anything. He stated that it was likely 30 to 40 years altogether.
A new bill was introduced into Congress which would direct the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum to conduct a study on education efforts in public schools. It is called Holocaust Education and Anti-Semitism Lessons, or HEAL.
But I think President Trump is taking a very important step in putting the students who are here on visas on notice that we are not going to tolerate this type of anti-Semitic violent behavior on our universities and in our streets. And I think as we move forward, we need to look at a number of other things, inclusive of the foreign dollars that are flowing into these universities.
According to the Harvard-Harris poll, 79% of Americans favor Israel over Hamas, including 75% of Democrats and 81% of Republicans, making it overwhelmingly bipartisan.
Do I wake up in the morning and say, this is the greatest thing ever? Well, not necessarily, but I have to say this. I trust the president to land the plane effectively. I trust him to do what's in the best interest of our country. And by the way, President Biden was asleep at the switch for 4 years. He did 0 trade deals. People were taking advantage of us.
And I believe that that's what the president is suggesting here. I think that when we really sit down and start to put this on a whiteboard, we're going to realize that there are needs for some personnel in Washington, D.C. with FEMA, but we don't need 20,000 folks there to fail the people that they're serving.
That's exactly what Marco Rubio is doing. And it's a new dawn for Latin America and for the United States, because it's our backyard. And I'm delighted he's going to Panama. I'm sure the Panamanians are going to reach a fantastic agreement with us because we built the canal.
These cartels, Tren de Agua, TDA, and the Sinaloa cartel, MS-13 gangs, they're everywhere across my home state of South Carolina. They're everywhere across every community across the country. And we have to play hardball with these countries who know where the meth labs are. They know where fentanyl is coming in. They know where illegals are coming in, pouring into our country, killing us even in many of our communities. And we have to put a stop to
this. Is pretty simple math, right? When you have a big tariff increase on countries, in this case, Canada, Mexico, and some on China, it's the American people who are going to pay the price. You know, President Trump, as candidate Trump, promised he was going to lower prices, lower costs. This is going to do just the opposite. We're going to see increased costs on, fruits and vegetables. We're going to see increased costs across the board. And that's even before we see the damage resulting from the retaliatory tariffs, right? Which will help hurt American businesses who are trying to export to these countries. So
experts say American families could pay $830 more on average this year because of those tariffs.
Tariffs is the most beautiful word to me in the dictionary.
Trump campaigned on lowering prices for Americans, but admits now that his tariffs could cause disruptions.
Americans are bracing for prices to rise at grocery stores and gas pumps across the country.